All right, so it's already as I mentioned, no, this will be the last part of our last na natin to as discussion for our wait lang, your system load is heavy, sabi niya. All right, last part na ito ng ating discussion for grade 8, and I believe this is the last batch already for the school year 2020-2021. So as a reminder for you, no, I'd like you to at least be able to submit your activities on time, or maybe before the deadline. I don't actually place deadlines for you to finish, but maybe as per my experience, some others are passing that one as one whole bagsakan at the end of the school year, while others are actually passing that one slowly, pakonti-konti hanggang mabigay lahat. Now, as kaka-check ko lang ng mga activities nyo yesterday because I went to school. Nauna kong na-check muna yung mga nagpasa ng hard copy. However, for those who passed your soft copies through my email or through my messenger, masusunod kayo. Now, later on, maybe a week after from now, I'll be posting those students, or maybe yung mga students na sabihin nyo, you have your classmates with you, you have your own group chats, no? I'll be I'll be sending PMs or personal message to them, especially asking them to pass their activities. As per experience, once again, there are students who are actually joining yung mga ganitong mga klase natin. However, walang pinasa kahit isa. So parang naisip nung taong yun, ay lagi naman akong sumasali sa Google Meet ni Sir, kahit hindi na ako mag-pass. Hindi po siya ganon. I may give you extra for this one, for you joining the class. However, there's no replacement for those who are not passing their activities. Kasi sa class record ko, parehas yung nilalagay kong mga points. Paano pag wala kang pinasa, those will be blanks. As I've mentioned also last time, the class record will not be generating grades if you have a lacking activity. That's the reason why I don't know for other subjects that you have, but you can only access and trying to know your grade through your LMS. Hindi po ako nagbibigay ng grades through PM. We're not advised to do that one. Hindi po kami pwedeng gumawa na ganon. Only pwede kayong makakita ng mga grades nyo pag in-upload ni teacher doon sa LMS nyo. So, slowly i-upload ko yan. But if for example, meron kayo like, first quarter meron akong grade. Sa second quarter, wala akong grade. Third quarter, meron akong grade. Alright? So meaning, meron kang kulang na activity doon sa isang quarter na yun, kaya hindi nag-generate ng grade. Alright? Kasi sa bagong ginamit naming class record, this is based on DepEd, because then again, you don't have anymore your first quarter exam, your second quarter, your third quarter. So wala na yun. So bago na naman ang nagawang class record. But to give you an honest tip for it, no, dapat at least kompleto yung mga ginagawa nyo. Alright? So ayun po, no? I hope that that would be clear for you. I'll be returning to you once again the reminders, no? Again, sige, para before tayo mamaya baka ma-bore na kayo kasi yung lesson na mismo yung pag-uusapan natin. Some others are asking about the tree planting. Now you have also classmates like nagpakita yung mother ng medical certificate na hospital yung bata kasi na-disgrasya, naka-fracture. So hindi siya pwedeng mag-plant or whatever that is, no? So ano bang pwedeng replacement ng mga activities like that? If you have those concerns, then can you just PM me? But for those others who are able to plant, no? If wala kayong pine tree, you can find other alternatives, but I encourage you to please find a tree. Tree sana, hindi yung plant. Kasi yun yung habol natin, tree planting. Kasi we're trying to add more trying to add more trees in the environment for us to be able to counter yung climate change na sinasabi natin. So kung wala kayong pine tree, you can use coffee tree. Alright? Meron yung coffee kasi I think coffee can live here. For others, kung wala naman, meron yung lemon tree kasi tree naman din yung lemon. Others are asking, sir, meron kaming lemon tree pero nakapat pa. So kailangan mong i-transplant yan sa open area kung saan pwedeng mabuhay yung lemon tree. So please know, whenever you try to plant them, make sure that that plant is secured. Yung hindi pwedeng, hindi malalaruan ng mga bata na mamamatay din, or hindi madadaganan ng bato, or basta anywhere na secured siya, na hindi siya mamamatay. And make sure that they will be able to at least, no, think of it like the next 10 more years, makikita nyo yung effect na maalala nyo itong klaseng ito, that I was the one who planted the tree, and I am proud that I planted the tree. So along with that performance task that you have done, no, please don't forget to answer the essay about it. Alright, may essay siya, may reflection siya. Hindi lang yung pinagawa ko yan tapos wala na. May essay po siya. So please make also the essay aside from it. And also, no, take good shots of photos of you doing it. Alright, yung mga behind the scenes. Or if not, pwede ding video. Either way, kung video yung gusto nyo, or like only set of photos, maraming photos of you planting the tree, then okay din yon. Alright, so I hope that everything is clear. May I hear voices this morning? I haven't heard you. Kung meron ba akong buzzing sound, or can you hear me loud and clear? Okay lang ba?
Sir, okay lang.
Alright,
Yes,
thank you.
sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. No? Very good. So, yun. So, meron pang mga nagjo-join. Alright, so let me share to you my screen right now. I'm not planning to hold you long for this one kasi sinamarize ko na ito. Pero pupunta tayo right away to your tawag nito, to your fourth quarter. Sorry. I should have presented na lang yung whole screen. Alright. So, yun, no? So, let's just get to, asan na yun? Makikita nyo na ba yung screen ko? You are now presenting. Alright. I hope that you get to see my screen already right now. So, these are some few of my reminders. Alright. Guys, kaya meron tayong performance task first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter is because they actually weigh a very big grade, no, or points in your grade. So, sa first quarter, wag niyong kalimutan, if you haven't made the kite making, you should do that one. Pwede niyong ihabol. Sa second part, it is, I think, the infographics for earthquake, or I think for typhoon. Yon. So, gawin niyo yun because that's the performance task for second quarter. For third quarter, it's a drawing or the poster for doing the phase changes for the water cycle. And lastly, for the fourth quarter, ito yung planting natin. So, yun po, no? Yun yung mabibigat po yan, 80 points po yan. Alright, so if you haven't done anything, the 80 points will be left blank and it will not generate grades. Alright, so let's proceed to what you call your levels of biodiversity. Alright, lesson 30 tayo. Magtatanong kayo, sir, you have skipped some few of the lessons of your fourth quarter. Hindi natin na-discuss ito, or you have done some few activities na hindi natin pala na-discuss. Alright. I decided not to include that one because of the lacking of the time that we have. So, pwede ko namang ituro yun, pero ending, baka malilito lang kayo sa pag-aral nun kasi medyo mahirap yung cell cycle, yung mitosis, meiosis na yun. So, I'll be leaving that one for your grade 9 teacher to be able to teach you na lang, no? So let's go to your levels of biodiversity. Alright, when you talk about your biodiversity, no? Ito yung from the word diversity or diverse. Anybody has an idea of the word diverse? Ano bang meaning ng diverse? Anybody, you can just turn on their microphones and just ano ba yung diverse? Ano bang ibig sabihin ng diverse? Or would like to guess. Guess nyo lang kung para sa inyo ano ba ang diverse in your own words or in your own understanding. What does diverse mean? Anybody, please?
Different from other things.
Alright, very good. No? So, when you talk about diverse, it just means different. No? Maraming iba-iba. Maraming iba-iba. Iba-ibang klase, iba-ibang types. Yun yung meaning ng diverse. And when you talk about bio, that's actually the Latin term for life. So, ito lang yung sinasabi natin na maganda pala. Hindi naman maganda, no? But it means that maraming magkakaiba-ibang mga living things. Alright? And in that case, meron tayong tinatawag na levels of biodiversity. So, ano ba tong mga levels? Alright, no? In the first place, ano bang biodiversity? It talks about the variety of life on Earth. If you get to see a picture of it here, anong nakikita nyo sa picture na ito? What kind of life or living things can you see here?
Sir, fish.
Fish, alright. Pero sa fish pa lang, makikita natin, hindi sila pare-parehas, di ba? Maraming mga different fish na nakikita sa picture. Alright. Aside from fish, ano pa yung meron dito?
Coral, sir.
Alright, very good, coral. This is one thing that I want to teach to you, no? Kasi, me living in, born in Mindanao and living in Visayas in my half-life, itong mga corals na to, para sa atin, especially yung nandito sa taas, no? Yung hindi taga-baba. Akala natin ito, mga bato. No? Nakakita na ba kayo ng coral? Anybody who has seen coral? May nakakita na ba sa inyo ng coral? O mga ganito, or nag-try na mag-scuba diving?
No, sir.
Never, no? So, medyo, this is something foreign sa inyo. So, first time nyo nakita. But if ever you get to be able to go sa mga area, sa beach, na merong mga ganito na akala nyo bato, I just want to emphasize to you that these are not stones, these are not rocks. These are coral. And corals are actually living things. Buhay po ito. Buhay po sila. Now, what I get to see with other people is that because of their ignorance, kasi hindi nila alam na akala nila bato lang ito, especially if this coral are living on a shallow area sa beach, yung mga mababaw ngayon na tubig sa beach, tinatapak-tapakan lang ito ng mga tao. So I'd like to emphasize that we're not supposed to step on them because these are living things. These are where fish live in. Dito sila nagtatago pag hinahanap sila ng mga kumakain sa kanila. Dito sila nangingitlog. Dito sila nabubuhay. Pag merong coral, ma-expect na maraming fish. Just imagine a beach with no coral, you cannot expect to see a fish there. Pero yun yung sinasabi ko, right? Diversity, paiba-iba ng mga buhay sa Earth. Right? So, sa levels of biodiversity, we have 3 types. You have your species, your genetic, and your ecosystem. Alright? So, let's dive in right away to those different types of your diversity. When you talk about species diversity, it's a community can describe based on species richness and evenness. Alright? Meron na naman tayong dalawang term na encounter. Richness and evenness. Some community may be rich but not even, or some community may be even but not rich. Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Try nating i-compare itong dalawang picture na ito. Alright? Nakikita nyo ba yung picture na to?
Yes, sir.
Alright, nakikita nyo ba?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Meron tayong community 1. Meron tayong community 2. Para sa inyo, no? Para sa inyo, ano yung makikita niyo dito? Sino ang mas rich or species rich, may malaking species richness? Is it community 1 or community 2? Para sa inyo.
Community 1, sir.
Community 1. Alright, somebody answered community 1. How about the others?
Sir, community 1 yan.
Community 1 din. Alright, sige. Alright, so, for us to be able to see this one, no, in terms of richness, it's the number of species present. Alright, so, i-count natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If you're going to count this one also, yung sa community 2, you get to see that parehas lang. Yon. So, parehas lang silang may 16 na species na nabubuhay sa isang community. So, when you talk about your richness, si community 1 at si community 2, parehas lang po yung richness. Kasi parehas lang yung dami ng mga nabubuhay na living things doon. Alright? Hindi necessarily na we're talking only about trees. Pwede nating, like for example natin yung mga animals. Mayroong 100 baka dito. Tapos sa kabila naman, 100 nuwang. Alright. Sino yung mas rich? To be honest, they are just the same because parehas lang sila ng dami. Alright, let me go to the next question. Who has more species evenness? Sino ang mas even? Is it community 1 or community 2?
Community 1, sir.
Alright, may nag-answer ng community 1. How about the others? Ano sa tingin nyo yung may evenness? Species evenness. Is the abundance of each of these species.
Sir, community 1.
Alright, community 1 then. Alright, to be honest with you, the answer would be community 1. Paano ba natin masasabi na even siya? Malalaman natin na even yung pagka-distribute ng mga different species. Think of this tree, yung medyo parang malapad na tree. So, tingnan natin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright? So, out of the 16, may 4 na ganitong klaseng tree. Tingnan din natin itong pine tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of the 16, meron ding 4 na pine trees. If you're going to look at yung medyo ito, hindi ko alam anong klaseng tree ito, parang Christmas tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, meron ding 4 out of the 16. And even this parang ice cream na tree, 4 din. So makikita natin na 25% lahat ng mga different species. So even sila. Unlike dito sa kabila, makikita natin ay 70% ng ito ang dami nila. Tapos kokonti lang yung malapad na tree, tapos yung pine tree at saka yung isang parang Christmas tree, parehas sila ng dami. So you get to see that community 1 has an even number of the abundance of their species. So dyan natin malalaman, no? Kasi later on, gusto ko iparealize sa inyo, bakit kaya kailangan natin ng diversity? Alright? Punta tayo sa next, mga species classification. Na-encounter nyo na ba ito? I think they have this one in your grade 7. Indigenous, endemic, invasive species. Alright, it says here indigenous species or known as their native species. Tapos meron din tayong tinatawag na endemic species only found in a specific region or country. And lastly, meron tayong invasive species not native from an area. Alright, so nakakatakot itong not native from an area. Alright, so yun, no? So, let's get to see more. Ano bang example ng mga endemic species natin dito sa Philippines? Pag sabi natin endemic species, ito lang yung nakikita natin sa Philippines na hindi mo makikita sa ibang countries. Anybody, any idea of, you have known of species na sa Pilipinas walang makikita?
Sir, tertiary.
Yeah,
Philippine eagle.
Alright, tarsier, yes. Philippine eagle, tama yun. Alright? Kaya nga tinawag na Philippine eagle kasi sa Philippines lang talaga. And you get to see that the Philippine eagle is the largest eagle among the different species of eagle. In United States, they have what you call the bald eagle. Kalbo, no? Kalbo yung eagle nila kasi parang straight lang na ganun, no? Yung eagle ng Philippines, meron siyang parang mohawk, 'di ba? Meron siyang buhok-buhok doon sa ulo. Tapos it's bigger, no? Mas malaki yung Philippine eagle kaysa sa American or bald eagle. Right. Meron din tayong tinatawag na mga indigenous at saka invasive. But I would like to emphasize on the invasive later on. Alright, so meron tayong mga paniki, no? Alam niyo yung paniki to? Have you ever eaten this one? Meron kasi nagbigay sa akin ng ganito dati, yung karne nitong paniki. This is found in Palawan. Alright? Eto, anybody has an idea of ano tong klaseng bird? Itong nasa taas na kulay pula. Meron kayong idea kung ano ito? Or what type of bird lang? This is also endemic in the Philippines kasi ito yung medyo maliit na version niya. This is a kingfisher bird, no? So makikita natin, these are the birds that dive into rivers and eat the fishes, no? So amazingly, meron tayong nakikitang only in the Philippines na maliit na version ng kingfisher kasi usually malalaki yung mga fish. We have also this one found in Palawan still, no? Itong nakalimutan ko anong pangalan na itong bird na itong blue na ito. Meron din tayong palakan sa Pilipinas na nakita. And lastly, alam nyo ito? You know this one? This one on the lower one. This is what you call, sa Bisaya, tawag namin ito kagwang. Alam nyo ba yung kagwang? Anybody has an idea? Ano yun? Anybody has an idea of what this one is nandito sa gilid? Or am I disconnected again? Or am I still on? And I hear you there? Meron pa. Connected pa naman ako, no? Meron kayong idea kung ano to? This is
Sir, koala.
Koala, no? Not koala because we don't have koala in the Philippines. Wala tayong koala. It's only in Australia. Alright? Koala yun. Ano kaya ito? Ito yung lumilipad. These are actually parang
Flying squirrel.
flying squirrel. Malapit ka na sa answer mo, but it's not a squirrel. Alright. Malapit na. Meron siyang word na flying. Tama yun. but it's not a squirrel. This is what you call your flying lemur. Alright, sa Philippines lang din nakikita ito. Para siyang squirrel na pag nagbuka siya ng arms niya and legs niya, para siyang kasla nga iso na nga ulos nga tumaytayab di angin. No, open dito. This is what you call your flying lemur. Alright, so yun, no, meron tayong endemic. But I'd like to emphasize to you what you call your invasive species. Alright, invasive species. Itong mga invasive species, ito yung mga nilalagay natin sa isang lugar na hindi dapat siya mabuhay doon. During that time, I think in 2015, meron akong teacher who is a graduate of UP Baguio, who is also a science and biology major. There was this time na panahon dito sa atin na masyadong malakas yung mga ulan na laging nagla-landslide. Ang isang cause daw ng landslide kasi marami nang pinuputol ng mga trees, especially pine trees. Now, there are some people who said that pine trees will take time for them to be able to grow and become mature and become a fully grown tree. Siguro maybe mga 20 years to 30 years bago sila lumaki ng ganong kalaki. But, no, there was this somebody who mentioned that bakit pine tree pa naman? Bakit pine tree yung ipaplant natin? Can we not find another type of tree that will grow very fast and be able to also prevent prevent landslide or soil erosion? Pwede ba yon? Tinatanong ng isang tao. Alright. In your case, kayo, pag itinanong ko, what would be your alternative for mga yung mga nakakalbo na mga bundok natin na naubos na yung pine tree because of illegal logging? What would be other trees that you can plant here in our area in Cordillera? Can you suggest? Meron kayong suggestion? Any other tree? Meron kayong idea ba? Alright, guess lang. Pwede namang mag-guess po.
Sir, Nara tree.
Alright, Nara. Alright. We'll hold that answer. However, for others, yung iba naman, dyan, ano kayang suggestion nyo? Alright, maybe you have a limited number of known trees that you have. Alright. Let's consider the answer Nara tree. Alright. Ang unang tanong natin, is Nara tree a native of the Cordillera? Maybe the answer is no. Hindi po siya native dito. Second, Nara tree is for tropical areas, meaning gusto nila sa maiinit. Pag binuhay...
Sir, pine tree?
Alright, aside from pine tree, kung like for example, nauubos na yung mga pine trees natin, ano pa aside from pine trees ang pwede nating i-plant dito as an alternative, no? Isukat, no? Ije pine tree nga, inya nga tati mabalin tayo nga isukat, ije pine tree nga haan nga pine tree if ever da kayo ti ag-decide, no? Inya ti kayat yung nga tree. So, somebody once again mentioned about Nara tree, no? So, haan nga native tinaya Nara tree dito ayan tayo. Kan may samat lang, tinara tree gamin kat pang napudot lang isu na nga lugar. No, plano nga imula tinara tree dito ayan tayo, more or less handay ta nga ag-survive. Gapo nga pudot ti kayat nahan nga lamin. Alright? Now, ada tinangyari idi nga inbaga je kaduak, no, nga teacher mat lang. Inbaga na, ada kano tinag-suggest nga imbis nga pine tree kat ti imula kano kat kawayan. Amo ti kawayan? Bamboo?
Yes, sir.
Alright, bamboo. Now, bamboo in the first place is not a tree. It's actually a grass. But ti habol da gamin ijay ni kawayan gamin nagpaspas nga dumakkel, nagpaspas da pay nga umadu. Now, the una nga question is is bamboo native in our area? The answer would be no. Hanis yung native dito eh. Tapang tropical, tapang napudot ng area. Next, inya ba?
Sir, mango tree.
Mango. Mango, yes, mabalin mango dito eh, no? If you get to see the real original mangoes coming from other places in the Philippines like Mindanao and Visayas, Especially in Guimaras, no? Because it's in Guimaras. You have the biggest and sweetest mango in the whole world. Pang tropical suna, pang napudot suna. Makita tayo kat babasit ti mga mangga tayo dito. Yung apan ka Visayas ken Mindanao, grabe ka dakal jay manggada. Grabe pa nga nasamit ijay. But going back no to the bamboo. Inya ba ti kwan una ni bamboo haan nga native dito ayan tayo. Ti next pine no ni bamboo ni imulam kaabay ti mga pine tree nagpaspas da nga umado nga damdama kat matabunan ti pine tree makiagaw-ag kanda nga makikumpetensya da makiagaw da ti mga nutrients ken danom nga maala da ijay daga to the point that kumutong ni pine tree dumakol ni tawag da ito ni bamboo tree. So haan nga basta-basta no adagamintin ag-organize ti tree planting activities haan tayo basta-basta nga kaimumula lang ti maysa nga type of tree ti maysa nga lugar no dapat dayta nga tree or inya nga tree planting activities nga aramidan ti mga governments or organizations dapat no jay tree nga diay nga imulmula tayo kat native para ijay lugar haan tayo nga introduce ti sabali nga haan nga native ijay lugar nga diay. Next thing lang ti mangyari dita, instead of like helping that area, it's actually an invasive area to the point that it can cause more damage than advantages. So kasjay ti kayat ko nga emphasize panggap iti invasive nga mga species. Han kayo nga adajay one time at lang nga kwa kano nag-ado ti lamok ije ayanda no ang maraming lamok which is causing dengue to that area. Now what happened, the people actually bred yung mga palaka to the point na yung palaka normal na ngayon ang dami doon sa mga bakuran nila, sa harap ng bahay nila, dumami yung mga palaka to the point that those frogs are not actually mga native ng area na yun. Ngayon dumami sila. Ngayon kat ang kadiri ngayon na naglalakad ka sa daan, ang daming mga palaka. Alright, so mga ganung mga kwan. So hindi po tayo basta-basta lang na nag-introduce ng mga species sa isang lugar na hindi native sa atin. Alright? Meron tayong tinatawag naman na genetic diversity. Alright? When you talk about genetic diversity, agpapadada nga na species, padada ti genes, padada ti species ngam sa balit ti genes. No, for example, if you get to see here in this picture, we have a corn. Alright, mga corn. Pero adati corn nga orange, adati corn nga pure white, adati corn nga medyo reddish, purplish, no? Agpadamat lang ti saba. Amoy ti saba? Alam niyo yung banana, di ba? Banana, ang daming types of banana. Meron yung deep pig, meron yung senyorita, meron yung lakatan, pero palahat sila banana. Pero magkakaiba sila in terms of genes. No? Yung deep pig, yun yung pwede nating iluto. No? Yung lakatan, yun yung nilalagay natin sa banana split. Yung senyorita, maliliit yun na very starchy, na medyo, meron din siyang own style of taste niya. Meron din yung, have you ever seen banana that is maroon? Yung kulay maroon na banana?
Yes, sir.
Alright, yan yung sinasabi nating genetic diversity. Parehas da nga banana, parehas da nga corn, ng agsabasabali ti variety da. Diba? Meron yung ganun. Kahit yung strawberries natin, merong strawberries na malalaki, merong strawberries na maliliit. Apan tayo mati mga repolyo tayo, adati iceberg, adati kastoy nga variety. So, agsasabali ng padada nga repolyo. So, dahil tayo iti meaning ti genetic diversity. Alright? So, kastoy, yung bagbagak earlier gayam, ada gayam picture ko ti saba, no? So, magkakaiba-iba. Pero saba pa rin, no? Saging pa rin yan. Alright. Meron din tayong tinatawag na ecosystem diversity. Alright? Anybody who has been to Mount Pulag? Or nakaakyat na ng mga bundok? Wala pa ba?
Yes, sir.
Sino nakaakyat na ng Mount Pulag? Sa inyo? Or mga native ng kabayan dyan sa inyo? Kabayan gamin ti pagsagsangatan niya, jay forest camp jay forest ranger. Alright, kung siguro wala pa, I went here months before nag-start yung pandemic, umakyat kami sa Mount Pulag. And Mount Pulag has a very diverse ecosystem. Sa middle part ng bundok, yung sa middle part na nasa gitnaan siya ng climb mo, makikita mo yung forest doon, mossy forest. Ganito nga No, yung forest na maraming mga moss na nakadikit sa puno. Ganito yung madadaanan mong trail. Pero pag nakapunta ka na rin sa taas, bakit nawala na yung forest na yon at makikita mo na puro grassland? So, just imagine one mountain of having different ecosystem. Mossy forest sa gitnaan, grassland sa taas. Alright? The more variety the ecosystem would be, the more different species will be able to survive there. Other species will survive in the grassland, other species will survive in the mossy forest. No? So ang ganda ng pagka in terms of like sa atin, in terms of our diversity dito sa Cordillera, ang dami nating diverse area, no? Meron tayong mga like panggardenan, meron tayong mga kagubatan, meron tayong mga river, falls and different stuff. Those are different ecosystems and we like to have a very different ecosystem. Can you imagine, for example, La Trinidad or like the Cordillera will be all grassland? Can you imagine and can you appreciate pag lahat grassland lang? Ano feeling yata nun, no? Kung puro grassland lang. That's the reason why, no? Yung sinasabi natin, we also want to have what you call your ecosystem diversity. Alright, so ano bang importance ng diversity? High diversity indicates a stable and healthy ecosystem since it can support high number of ecosystem. Sabi ko nga, mas maraming magkakaiba-ibang mga species, plant and animals, mas malaki yung chance na mabuhay yung community na yon. No? Just like the coral reef underwater, maybe someday, no, maybe one of your bucket list is to be able to do scuba diving underwater and appreciate all the different fish found there. Makikita natin ang daming variety ng fish. Have you ever seen Nemo? Siguro, no? One thing that I actually enjoyed in doing the scuba diving is actually finding yung si Nemo, yung clownfish. Makukulit kasi sila. Yung clownfish na yon, yung striped orange and white. Alright? I've seen one before already, many times. Nag-dive ako. So, yun, maganda yung feeling. Ito, makikisasabi natin that the underwater has a very high biodiversity. And they have a bigger chance of surviving in this community. Compared to a low diversity, just like your desert, sino bang nakapunta na sa desert? Sino bang nakapunta na ng Saudi? Sa inyo? Baka meron na nakapunta sa Saudi nyo. Sa inyo. But, can you imagine a desert? Maka-imagine kayo ng desert even just in the movies?
Sure, yes.
Alright. Sige. Pag nakakita kayo ng desert, what do you think will be the different species that will be able to survive in a desert? Ano yung meron kayo nakikita dito sa desert?
Sure, camel.
Alright, camel. Ano pa yung tingin nyo pwedeng mabuhay dito sa desert?
Cactus.
Cactus. Alright, tama yun. Ano pa?
Lizard.
Alright, lizard. Pwede din yung lizard mabuhay dito. Ano pa?
Snake.
Scorpion, snake, pwedeng mabuhay dito, alright? But just imagine, try to look at it here, no? Pwede nyo yung mabilang lang kung ilan yung mga nabubuhay dito. Mabibilang nyo lang po dito sa desert. It's because it has low biodiversity. Mabibilang nyo. Oh, dito camel, may konting grass. Oh, 2 species lang yung nabubuhay dito. Compared to dito sa high biodiversity, try to name all these mga different species of fish. Hindi mo mauubos, baka lalampas ito ng 100 plus na different species. Dito, makikita mo, 2 lang. It's just the camels and the grasses. So it has low biodiversity, therefore, it has low chance of surviving in that area. Can you imagine living in a desert? Would you like to live in a desert?
No, sir.
Oh.
Sir, no.
Una, mainit. Next, wala kayong hindi nyo alam kung saan kayo makukuha ng tubig dito.
Sir, ma-dehydrate.
Dehydration or mamamatay ka dito ng heat stroke, no? So, that's the reason why as I'm telling you, it's not low biodiversity has a lesser chance of surviving there. Kaya, kailangan natin ng stable ecosystem. Kasi nga sa stable ecosystem, meron tayong mga roles. Merong mga producers, merong mga consumers, merong mga decomposers, mga ganun. So, pag wala tayong producer, wala tayong mga plants, hindi makakakain yung mga ibang animals. Pag hindi din makakain yung mga animals, wala ding pagkain yung other animals na kumakain sa kanila. Just imagine if there's no turtle, maraming mga isda. And ending, pag marami masyadong isda, at wala namang turtles na kumakain, there will be overpopulation of them. And there will be unstable ecosystem. So every animals, every species, every living thing has a role in our ecosystem. Alright? So ano bang importance nila? Yon, no? Nag-provide ng oxygen. Plants also provide food, shelter, medicine, fiber, paper for clothing. Ang dami pong pwedeng ibigay ng environment sa atin. That's the reason why I'm an advocate of cleaning the environment's ecosystem. Alright? Many times I've been into different trails here in our area, and I naiinis ako pag meron akong nakikitang mga trails, no, yung mga bundok, mga magandang area na pag-hiking, at tapos makakakita ka doon ng plastic, papel, face mask na tinapon lang dyan sa daan. Sinong ini-expect nating maglinis nun? Hindi naman na umaabot yung mga basurero natin sa mga area dyan sa bundok. So, naiinis ako sa mga taong gumagawa ng mga ganun. Alright? So, biodiversity, ano bang benefit nila? Pwede po silang maging defensa natin sa mga natural calamities. Have you ever been to like Pangasinan? Meron bang nakapunta sa inyo sa Pangasinan? Or even sa La Union?
Yes, sir.
Alright, alam nyo ba itong tawag na itong punong ito? Hindi ba there's an idea what's the name of this tree here? Alright, if wala kayong idea, kasi this is not common for people in the highlands, this is what you call your mangroves. Mangroves are actually, pag tinitingnan nyo yung baba niyan, it's actually many roots found there at the bottom. And yung mga roots na yan is dyan nangingitlog yung mga isda, dyan din nabubuhay yung mga isda. Para mas paspas sila, no? Mabilis silang mag-reproduce at maraming source of fish ang ating mga fishermen. But to be honest with you, whenever also a typhoon comes at tataas ang mga tubig dito sa mga beach natin, these mangroves will become a barrier for it not to damage those mga properties na malapit dito sa mga area or nasa lupa. Alam niyo ba yung Typhoon Yolanda yung nangyari sa Tacloban, no? It's because of these trees that actually protected some areas in the beach area na hindi nasira yung mga bahay nila is because these trees, nakahilera ito ng mahaba doon sa coastal area na prinotektahan sila sa malakas na alon dahil ng typhoon. So then again, ang ganda ng advantage ng having a very good ecosystem. Right? Natural defenses. Ano pa? It prevents landslide, no? Sa atin dito, ito naman ang common sa atin. That's the reason why many times I'm an advocate of tree planting and I'm advocate of trying to improve the ecosystem. Right, next. Siyempre gusto naman natin ng maraming sino ba sa inyong pet lovers dyan, no? Hindi lang naman dogs yung pinipet natin. Even wild animals, we get to protect them. Alright? Deforestation, irresponsible mining, irresponsible fishing practices, and pollution causing habitat loss and destructions of these mga animals. Just imagine, wala nang source ng pagkain or shelter itong mga deer dito kasi wala na yung mga puno. Wala nang paglalandingan yung mga birds natin kasi wala nang puno. Alright? Wala na silang pwedeng paggawa ng nest nila. It's because human is actually the number one cause of this destruction on earth. Overharvesting, ito hindi naman to maganda, no? Nag-overharvest tayo. We give time for the fish to be able to reproduce, kaya there will be a time of the year that hindi po tayo pwedeng mag-fish. Kasi gusto natin na manganak muna ng ayong mga fish ng marami and they will grow and you can harvest once again. Hindi po pwede all the time harvest lang, harvest ng harvest. Alright? Invasive species, sabi ko nga, introducing of those mga hindi dapat na nilalagay sa area na yan. Right? And climate change. Alright. Have you ever heard of mga mga stories about scientists trying to find life on Mars? Nakarinig kayo ba ng mga story na,
Yes, sir.
naghahanap sila kung meron bang tubig doon sa Mars or meron bang oxygen doon sa Mars na pwede tayong huminga? Have you ever heard of those mga documentary or mga films about those ones? Nakarinig ba kayo?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sure. Yes.
I'll give you this question, no, for you to just maybe think of it for a while. Why do the scientists or even people in the government support this kind of exploration, of trying to find life on Mars, instead of trying to spend that money and revive Earth? 'Di ba? Bakit kailangan nating gumastos pa ng marami-marami para maghanap tayo kung pwede tayong mabuhay sa Mars? Na sana ginamit na lang natin yung pera para buhayin natin ulit yung Earth. Which do you think would be best, Kwan? Ano bang para sa inyo yung maganda? Spending that money on trying to find life on Mars and maybe later on migrate to Mars? Or just maybe trying to save Earth? What do you think? Ano para sa inyo? There's no right or wrong answer,
Save Earth.
Alright, somebody's mentioned about saving Earth. Kayo,
Papers po.
ayaw nyo bang magkaroon ng lupa doon sa Mars?
Mahirap.
Mahirap, no? Kasi first, kailangan mo mag-migrate going to Mars, something like that. But that is something that you get to ask, no? Ako naman, I only just realized it that why do people spend so much money on trying to find life on Mars instead of trying to revive Earth? Tao din naman ang nag-destroy, tao na sana din ang mag-aalaga in the near future. No? Tingnan natin ngayon, nakakakita pa tayo ng birds na lumilipad dyan sa mga sky natin. But maybe 20 years, 30 years from now, your children will not be able to see them already. Maybe only on the pictures na lang. So, anong gagawin natin? We have a role in the society that we try to maintain, no, the ecosystem here on Earth. Kasi gusto natin na yung nakikita natin na ngayon, makikita pa ng next generation. Hindi puro usok, hindi puro itim, hindi puro pollution yung gusto nating ipakita sa kanila. Alright? So, meron tayong ginagawa, sinasabi ng mga biodiversity conservation. Marami po tayong mga, we have many organizations that actually support this one. No? Me, myself, no? First, I'm as an advocate of the environment, seldom na lang akong gumagamit ng motor ko. Kasi we know pretty well that transportation is also one of those pollution-causing na mga factors that affect pollution, no? So, I was into biking lately and kung kaya pa at hindi ako nagmamadali, I'll go biking kahit malayo pa yan. Because then again, no? Biking runs on fats. Yung tabako na kumukunti kasi yun nga yung gasolina ng pagbabike, yung tabako. That's my fuel. Instead of running through gas, no? Yung gasolina. So, what do I don't contribute to the pollution of the earth when I'm doing biking. Alright? So, yan mga ganun. Some others of you maybe are also into biking kasi some of my other students I get to see sa trails or sa roads. So, ayun, no? Kita-kita na lang sa daan. Alright, so, ways to minimize human impact on the environment. Gusto nating Gusto nating mag tree planting. Now, have you tried tree planting? Especially in grade 6 nyo kasi I believe that Philippines has a law right now na pag graduate nyo ng grade 6, mag-plant kayo ng 1 tree. Have you tried that one? Anybody?
Sir, no.
Hindi nyo na-try. Kasi
Yes.
anybody who graduated in CCDC? Ba? Dito sa inyo? Meron ba? Sino yung nag-graduate ng CCDC ng grade 6? Hindi ba ni-require sa inyo na mag-plant kayo ng kahit isang tree bago kayo mag-graduate?
They're required.
Required. Oh, yun nga, yung required. Tapos ngayon, meron tayong bagong law na naman na gusto nilang ipasa. Pag merong manganganak, sa kada isang anak na maaanak, 2 tree po ang kailangang i-plant. Alright? I have a friend when I was still in college. Every time na nagba-birthday siya, she always plants 1 tree. Now that she's already around 32 years old, and maybe she started at around 10 years old, pag every birthday niya, nagpa-plant siya, she may have already planted 22 trees. Do you think that would be a good idea? Yung lang, mag-plant ka lang ng isang tree sa birthday mo. No? That's the reason why I'm trying to encourage you to do this one. Because then again, no, gusto natin na may makikita pa tayong mga ganito in the near future. Desertification, ito, ayaw nating mangyari ito sa atin, no? Yung parang magmumukhang desert yung lugar, pati yung mga lupa, hindi na pwedeng pagplantan kasi sa sobrang dry nila, nabibitak-bitak na. Ano pa? Overfishing. We don't like this one, no? We need give time for the fish to be able to reproduce and grow, saka na naman ulit na mag-harvest. Pollution, alam na natin ito. Alright? It's either air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, soil pollution, basta lahat ng pollution na have harmful substances to the environment, they are causing pollution. So, yun. Meron tayong reforestation, biodiversity conservation program, and lately, meron tayong mga bago. We have what you call your environmental biotechnology. A new field in science, no? That will design to innovate human activities at levels wherein pollution and resources exploitation is minimized. Alright. To end, no? To end. And maybe you can now maybe congratulate yourself because ito na yung end ng 2020 school year. No, this will be the end of your school year. Now, I'll be leaving you with one more essay for you to do aside from the tree planting and the reflection paper. So, ang ipapasa nyo sa fourth quarter, hindi lang po yung performance task at yung reflection paper. I'd like you to also pass this essay. Now, sabi dito, write an essay by answering the guide questions. Do not answer it in enumeration type. Rather, form a paragraph to create a substantial essay with around 200 to 300 words. This may be typewritten or handwritten. Alright. Yung sa last batch kasi yung nakahabol for the Festival of Talents, pwede ko isasali ko sana ito, no. But what would be the question? Alright, ganito, no. Alam natin na COVID pandemic year ngayon, correct? Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Alright, and alam natin na still meron pa rin COVID. Alright, ito yung tanong ko. Both governments and individuals are spending big amounts of money protecting animals, their habitat, and forests or the Mother Earth as a whole. The money could be better spent dealing with fundamental issues in society such as poverty and health care. Alright? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Ganito yung tanong na yan para mas ma-explain ko kasi pag binasa nyo lang to hindi nyo ma-understand. Ano ba yung meaning nung tanong na ito? Ngayon kasi, yung gobyerno natin, yung mga tao, no, are facing different issues. We have now a dying environment, no? Namamatay yung ating Mother Earth. However, at the same time, meron din tayong hinaharap na problema ngayon sa COVID-19. Now, para sa inyo, saan dapat mag-prioritize si government? Should it be on the poverty and healthcare to fight against COVID-19 or should it be na i-prioritize nila trying to revive Mother Earth? Para sa inyo, saan kayo dyan? There will be no right or wrong answer. This is opinionated. It will be your opinion for this one. 200 to 300 words. Kaya ba?
Yes, sir.
Kaya ba? Trying to ko lang. Sa para sa inyo, or let's discuss some few maybe ideas sa inyo ngayon. Sa inyo, saan tayo dapat mag-prioritize? Should it be in the healthcare to fight against COVID-19 or should it be sa environment to relieve or to revive Mother Earth? Walang correct or wrong answer Pwedeng pwedeng correct lahat yung answer nyo kasi opinion nyo yun. Gusto ko lang malaman yung idea.
Sir, both.
Both? Alright, ganito na lang. Ganito, no? Can we please like iwasan natin yung both? Pili kayo ng isa talaga dyan. Hindi pwedeng or. Hindi pwedeng both. Pili lang kayo ng isa dyan. Is it trying to fight the COVID-19 or trying to revive the Earth? Ano para sa inyo ang mas priority natin? Any idea? Let's just discuss some few ideas bago nyo isusulat yan sa essay nyo.
Fight against COVID-19.
Alright, merong nagsabi na gusto nila i-fight muna yung COVID-19 kasi pwede namang mamaya lang yung pag-revive natin sa Mother Earth. Others, paano naman sa inyo? paano naman yung idea nyo or ano yung sa tingin yung dapat i-prioritize natin?
Mother Earth.
Alright, meron ding nag-answer na Mother Earth. So, yun na nga, sinasabi ko, nagva-vary din yung mga answer nyo. Pero depende na lang kung paano nyo depensahin yung answer nyo. Let's say, for example, sinabi mo, gusto mo, I believe that dapat i-continue pa rin natin na priority natin yung reviving Mother Earth. Because, ganito. O, ito yung mga rason mo. O, meron ding classmate nyo na gusto yung answer niya, dapat unahin nating isolve muna yung COVID-19 kasi ganito yung rason ko. Alright, so that's how you're going to make your essay and try to make it as, as convincing as possible. Would that be okay? As your last requirement or last activity for Science 8. Would that be okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay lang ba? Alright, so yun lang. And you can now clap your hands and maybe even congratulate yourself that you have survived 2020-2021 school year. Though hindi pa tapos yung laban kasi hindi pa kayo nababaksin. So, yun lang naman yung habol natin, no, that we'll be able to just continue to pray that we'll be able to rise once again, no, and be able to sana mawawala na itong COVID-19 kasi merong nagtanong ng palm tree. Yes, Mr. Suknad, mabalinti palm tree. Ano dito ba? Jay pang gayam. Wen. Pang replacement. Dati nagbigati cedar tree. Okay. So, sa 22 na mga students nandito, no, maybe this will be our last discussion na magmi-meet tayo online, virtually. Maybe others will be PMing me na lang, but I'd just like to take this opportunity for me to be able to thank you from the start until the end that the same people are joining this class. I know it's hard. I know that maybe nagsasawa na kayo kasi ganun lagi. But no, we are all in this together trying to help each other kasi ganito talaga yung binigay ng panahon ngayon. Maybe some of you or most of you nami-miss na yung mga classmates, yung mga face-to-face. Face-to-face, gusto nyo nang makita yung mga kaklase nyo. Okay, ayun. Pero that's the point, no? Na kailangan nating mag-adjust muna kasi hindi pa safe na pumunta tayo at makita-kita. Alright, so once again, nagpapasalamat po ako. Taos-pusong nagpapasalamat sa inyo that you are here from the start to the end and continue to pass all the requirements. If masaya at napasa ni student yung activities, masaya si teacher, masayang may grado kayo, parehas tayo masaya. So there once again, so yun, no, natapos tayo ng before 12 or before 11. So I hope that continue nun, baby, you can do this one and pass the requirement already in the afternoon. Kasi madali lang naman. Ayun, alright? So, you have questions before I get to say goodbye in this class that we have? Kasi mag-grade 9 na kayo if ever. Have questions?
None, sir.
Wala so far?
None.
Wala din? Alright, so kung wala naman na, then mag-ingat-ingat po tayo. Kita-kita po sa daan. Once again, if kilala nyo ako at nakita nyo ako sa daan, don't hesitate to magpansin sa akin kasi hindi ko kayo kilala by face. So, pag nakilala nyo ako, just say hi or, sir, ako yung estudyante mo sa Section 8A, Section 8B, or Section 8E. So, gano'n, no? So, sige, kumain na kayo kung hindi pa kayo kumakain ng breakfast nyo or maybe try to eat your lunch. Alright? Passing activities. Thank you once again and good morning.